YouTube Premiere is kind of like scheduling a video to be released, only YouTube immediately lets everybody know when that will be. They can then visit the countdown page where they can talk about it with others before it goes live at a set time and we all watch it together. My previous video on this channel talked about my reasons for trying out the feature and how I had designed a video specifically for live viewing. That video was Man vs Skyrim. Now it's been released, I'll talk about how it did. It's the most successful release I think kliksphilip has ever done, but let's try to figure out why. The video was announced 36 hours before the premiere went live. I figured that at least 24 hours was needed to ensure that every daily viewer would have the chance to be notified about it. It was due out on the 11th, since that was Skyrim's 7th anniversary. This year, November the 11th landed on a Sunday, which was convenient because it was a weekend. I set its release to 7 PM UK time, which was chosen as an evening time for all of Europe, and a late morning, early afternoon time for people in America. This should have been a viewable time for most of my audience. Unfortunately, the 11th also happened to be the 100th anniversary of the end of World War I, and as YouTube is based in America, it showed my video as going live at 11 AM, which is when the 2-minute silence happens. What are the chances? This wasn't intentional and it wasn't 11 o'clock for most people. I didn't want to confuse this video's release any further, so I didn't cancel the premiere or re-upload for a different time. I thought this would do more harm than good, but during that 36-hour countdown I learned the hard way that people don't like the premiere feature. It got over 200 dislikes before the video had even been seen. I guess this is people trying to stick it to YouTube, but ultimately it just hurts me. To be honest, I make content for YouTube, but I don't watch a lot. I'm blind to that side of things, and with this premiere I was quite surprised by the amount of hate this feature received, and was informed many times that it would hinder my video's chances of success. But I always like to see for myself, and being told it would be a failure only made me want to do it more. Eventually the video premiered. One countdown ended and another began, together with a very interesting choice of music. This experience was just as unexpected for me as it was for you. My heart was racing, partly in fear and partly because I was super excited to watch a video live with my viewers. The numbers viewing had remained at around 100 for the hours leading up and then quickly rose to beyond 1,000 for the launch, continuing upwards until about 3,500 by the end of the video, 15 minutes later. I won't lie, those numbers sounded low to me. I had no other premieres to compare it to, but an average 2kliksphilip video gets about 10,000 views in the first hour, and 100,000 in total. So to see such a well-announced video getting just 2 to 3% of that live was surprising. But I'll tell you what, it was fun. The viewing numbers were the perfect size for a quick, lively community discussion. I could keep up with the chat, was able to reply to a lot of people in real time, and the quality of the messages was high. This surprised me because I was expecting Twitch levels of spam and trolling. I think the people who watched this video live wanted to be there. It showed, and I, at least, had a really good time. It added a lot to the experience and made me proud to be a content creator. Of course, having chat open, I didn't spend much time really watching the video, but I knew it off by heart already, which really helped me to focus on the chat and to share in the reactions to key bits of the video and to set people up for what was yet to come. I loved it, and I think that people who were there did as well. At least that's the impression that I got from the chat and from the poll I made about it on Twitter afterwards. But we're talking about a relatively small number of people here. My analytics showed that my premiere received about 12,000 views in the first hour, which, when you consider that most of my viewers knew when it was going to be released, isn't exactly massive. Other YouTubers have had a similar experience, being unimpressed with the viewing numbers and warning that they drop off more than normal afterwards. But did mine? Was my premiere a failure? Well, no, I've already said it was a massive success. If anything, too much of one, as it will make what came before and what I make after look inadequate. But I'll take it. In the first 2 days, it was watched for over 6 years. Average audience duration was 9 minutes, it gained me 3,600 subscribers, and despite the initial dislike spam, still got liked by 97%. Most interestingly though, is that it's received almost 15,000 comments. It hasn't. It's had 2,300, which is still a good number. But what YouTube's doing is it's counting live chat as comments. In those hours leading up to the premiere, and particularly while it was playing, live chat was clocking up thousands of comments. Oddly, most are from the UK, and they sure as hell weren't all from me. It makes me wonder if the YouTube algorithm sees these 15,000 comments as high engagement and is promoting the video more because of it. In other words, YouTube are being a little bit sneaky by boosting premiere videos in one rather obscure way. There's no way of quantifying the difference this makes, but it's worth noting. I'm happy the video was a success. Not just because it benefits me, but also because I like saying screw you to the negativity that seems to surround everything these days. People were adamant that it was going to be a failure, and I think there would have been some degree of schadenfreude had it been a disaster, simply because YouTube Premiere was involved. And yet this video succeeded. Take away from this that it's possible to host a YouTube Premiere and for it not to be a failure. A lot of this was probably down to the quality of the video. It's a good one, and it's a length that YouTube likes to promote. It launched on a day when Skyrim would have been particularly popular, and it was a weekend. Outside the Premiere feature, I think I did everything I could have done to ensure that this video would succeed. Which brings us to YouTube Premiere. How much can that be attributed to its success? I'll start by saying that I think the feature has a few problems. The video felt laggy at points. Even after the premiere had ended, I needed to reload the page for it to buffer past certain points. During the premiere, it was only up to 1080p quality, which is sad since the video was uploaded in 4K, which was ready long before its actual release. People were unable to fast forward through the stream, which is understandable. But then with this kind of video, fast forward would have ruined a lot of the jokes. And while the chat was distracting, it could be disabled. As much as you could moan about these things, I'd rather see Premiere as a new experience that brings extra stuff to the table. If you don't like that, then that's fine. But there were certainly people who enjoyed the chat and the experience of watching it through with other people. Though I'm pretty sure that 100% of you dislike the 36-hour countdown. I've been advised that 1 or 2 hours is enough, similar to if it was a daily stream on Twitch or something. But come on guys, 2kliksphilip isn't a daily stream. I make about 2 or 3 videos a month and at the most unpredictable pace imaginable. That being said, I will take it on board if I do a premiere again. But I don't think my choice with this video was a bad one. It sounds like YouTube should take a lot of the blame in the way it announces it. I heard from some of you that it annoyingly remained on your reminders until it was finally launched. I heard from others that it didn't show up when the video finally went live. And I heard from others that they weren't notified at all. So in terms of announcing YouTube premieres, I think a lot of the hate stems from how YouTube presents it to viewers, which is beyond my control as a YouTuber. I think also that YouTube Premiere has to battle against people's perceptions of what YouTube is. Unlike TV, which can get away with murder, with YouTube, people want it all and they want it now. And for free and without ads. They don't like the idea of being teased about content that they can't yet see. The way they see it, YouTube Premiere has delayed content they'd otherwise have gotten sooner. While I, on the other hand, see it as scheduling it for a release and letting people know exactly when that's set for. I'm not exactly going to launch a Skyrim 7th anniversary video a day early. But of course, that kind of argument goes unheard in the face of the YouTube Premiere hate crowd. I think there's something to be said for delayed gratification. People are fine with trailers for movies months before its release. Despite being told not to, people continue to pre-order games long before they're out. And you may go to the cinema to watch a movie, but it's what you eat, where it is and who you're with that makes the experience complete. Anticipation is a powerful tool, and if used correctly, can make the payoff all the more enjoyable. If it's any solace, the wait was just as infuriating for me, as I had to remain quiet in the chat about what it was about. But boy, was it worth the wait. At least for me, I had a blast watching it live with you guys. I knew already what the video was like, and yet YouTube Premiere still bigged it up in my mind and made me see it as more than just the sum of its parts, and gave the experience a special atmosphere. The video was transformed into an event, and I felt connected with my audience in a way that YouTube has never managed before. Only a few thousand watched it live, which I'll say is disappointing. But if those people walk away with a better memory that they'll remember for longer than if it had just been a standard video, then in my eyes, that makes this whole experiment worthwhile. Also, the donations were a nice touch. I don't have Patreon, I don't do Twitch, I don't like asking for money, and I do very few promotions. I miss out on a lot of money that I could be making. So although I don't expect money or donations, having it enabled for this premiere was a nice way of feeling that I wasn't missing out for once. The super chat feature felt optional. I liked it, and I thank everybody who kindly donated. I didn't do YouTube Premiere for selfish reasons, but I really did enjoy the experience. As the creator of the video being released, it made me realise the sacrifice that all YouTubers must make. I spend weeks on these videos. I slave away on the recording and editing, and create something I'm proud of. And then what? I release it on YouTube to a crowd I can't see. I can only gauge their reaction from a like bar and whatever comments they throw my way. That's tragic. And it took YouTube Premiere for me to realise it. I loved seeing people's responses to bits in the video as it was happening. I even suggested that there should be buttons for different emotions that people press as the video's going on, so you can see a live map of emotions rather than expecting them to summarise the experience at the end as a mere like or dislike. As a YouTuber with hundreds of thousands of subscribers, I do feel I get distanced from my fans. It's just not possible to interact with that many people. I think that's why I enjoy CSGO events so much. But I also felt like it with YouTube Premiere, if only for a couple of hours. I got to talk to people in the chat and I felt a community spirit that was lost when my channels grew too large. There was something special about those hours of socialising leading up to the video's release. Most of you won't have been there, but like I said, for those who were, I hope it was something special. Of course, I have the blessing of hindsight. The video was a success. But what if it hadn't been? Would I have felt differently about the premiere? It's hard to say. I think I would still have enjoyed the premiere and the experience surrounding it. And although the video's become a great hit, I wouldn't exactly say that 1,000 people being there upon release could be seen as a success, especially for a channel with 400,000 subscribers. I think a video should be seen as two parts, the premiere and then the video as normal afterwards. People make a big deal about it, but it is just an optional and extra part of the experience, and I see no need for people to complain once YouTube sorts its notifications out. So, YouTube Premiere. I like the theory and had a great time, but the execution on YouTube's end could be improved. I genuinely hope that the community eventually accepts the feature as something optional and extra, as it adds to the experience, especially when it's done right and with the right kind of video by a YouTuber you particularly enjoy watching. I can't say how much it helped my video, but I'm happy to say that it didn't appear to hinder it. 5 years and 500 videos in, 2kliksphilip's first premiere just happened to be his largest, most successful video yet. Time to move on.